Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Big Dan with Southern Extreme Podcast. We're just going to talk about a little bit of college football today. Um, Everybody's welcome to leave some comments and subscribe if you would. We're gonna come out and just talk a little college football each week, have a little fun with it, enjoy ourselves. Um, so what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the LSU Tennessee matchup coming up this Saturday. It's an early start. It's going to be a 11 o'clock game, so that's kind of uncharacteristic for LSU. They don't really, them old Cajun fans, they don't like them early games too much. They don't get enough beer drinking in. But anyhow, they'll still tailgate and have a blast and have a good time. Them games are fun to go to. But anyhow, LSU, looking at LSU to me is at this stage in the game we're 4-1. Our offensive line they're still a work in progress. Of course, we got some young talent on both sides of the tackles. We got the Will Campbell on the left tackle and Emory Jones on right tackle, and them guys are doing awesome. And they're growing and getting better each game. That's just a lack of depth there on our offensive line, but they're doing the best they can. And a lot of our problem is I like him and everything, but our quarterback, he has a bad tendency to, in my opinion, he just wants to tuck and run too fast. Looks like he's having trouble, on reading his progressions on the receivers. Looks to me like he's having trouble, picking them out sometimes. There's some guys open, and I don't think he ever sees them. And on top of that, he struggles throwing the ball. He cannot hit. In these big games, so far we've played Florida State, Mississippi State, and Auburn that are relevant teams. And not to say Southern and New Mexico's not relevant, but they're just not going to have the talent that a SEC team's going to have. But in my opinion, he's just not. He's not hitting his passes. These short passes to the tight end that they're creating. Man, he can't hit none of them hardly. And if he could just hit those alone, that our production would be way up. But he's struggling, in my opinion. I'm to the point I wish they'd just play, work Nussmeier in some, give him some game experience. I mean, everybody knows we're going to lose a few games down the road. It's just the nature of the beast for us because we're still building back up. So if it's me, I'd get Nussmeier out there. I mean, Daniel's done the same thing at Arizona State. I mean, it is same old thing really. I mean, he's a great athlete, but at the end of the day, right now he's just not hitting his passes, and that's bottom line. So I mean, they're doing the best they can on the play calling, is trying to get onto these games. I mean, I know sometimes he's under distress because of the getting chased or something, and he's not going to be able to continue to run in the SEC at the pace he's running. So that's why I say we need to get Nussmeier in there, get him more comfortable, get some more experience with him. He that way he can grow and develop and become a better player. I think that's more of our future right there, Nussmeier and the Howard kid coming up. So that's my opinion on that. Now coming into this game, Tennessee's rolling. They're doing good. They got the Hooker kid playing quarterback. He's doing awesome. Now Tennessee comes in to this week. They're number one, in yards per game for Division I. And then, on the flip side of the ball, they're 93 on yards allowed. So, but with that said, I mean LSU's 40th on yards per game. On offense, they're 19 right now on yards allowed. So we got to hope and pray our defense does their job to help the offense. But the offense, like I say, the offense is going to have to do the deal. Defense has been doing good much as they can. And then, they got the last week against Auburn, got lucky and got that defensive score. Got everything kind of kicked off, got it going. That helped tremendously, but we're just slow starting too. LSU really needs to focus and work hard on getting out to a faster start. It seems like they're getting a slow start offensively. They don't really get going till seems like almost till halftime, and for us to be successful, period, we're going to have to get up and going a little bit faster than that. So that's my assessment on that. We're getting a few injuries. I mean, everybody's going to start getting injuries this time of season, especially when you start getting into these SEC matchups. You got these big bulls playing each other. So it's going to be a tough game for us. So anyhow, I'm looking for a real physical game. A good game. We can't turn the ball over, and we're gonna have to look at getting some turnovers and playing solid in every aspect of the ball. We're gonna have to. Special teams is gonna have to come through, along with the offensive defense too, for us to win this ball game. It's gonna be a tough one. Tennessee's a solid team. It's going to be a huge test for us, that's for sure. I'm highly anticipating to see how the kids, come out and do, especially, coming off a road game at Auburn. All these SEC games are very tough. But anyhow, that's my take on the LSU Tennessee game. I think it's going to be very critical, for us to get these tight ends involved fast and be successful with it. They're trying their best. He just ain't hitting the passes, so that way it takes the pressure off of him from having to run so much. So, but we need to start trying to get Butte in there, get him in some action. A great athlete. He's a playmaker. You got to get the ball in the playmaker's hands. So that's what we're going to have to do on that side of the ball. Just stay consistent and keep fighting hard on that defense. So that's my take on the LSU Tennessee game. And we'll be back next week to talk about what happened against Tennessee and LSU, and we'll talk about the next game coming up for LSU. And I appreciate y'all, and you leave some comments if you would, and I'll respond, and then subscribe if you can, and we're just gonna keep talking football and enjoying the season, and I appreciate it, and thank you very much. Bye bye.